Okay, let's get started. Good afternoon, principal and teachers. Welcome to our Zoom webinar. My name is Alvin, and I will be your host for today's section. It's a pleasure to meet all of you. Today's event is organized by elearn.com Limited, and I want to extend a warm thank you to everyone for taking time to attend. Later, we will be joined by our guest speaker, Dr. Ku. Our topic today is a multimodal approach to early learning in Chinese and English languages. Now, allow me to provide some background information about Dr. Ku Kei-yong. He is the founder of Mels and has been working in the education field for more than 25 years. He currently teaches a master degree course Multimedia in Education at the University of Hong Kong. If you have any questions during the sessions, please feel free to type in the Q&A chat box. Now, may I welcome Dr. Ku. Dr. Ku, maybe you need to.
Hello
Yeah.
everyone.
Oh,
Good afternoon.
yeah, can hear you. Dr. Ku, before our webinar start, we received several questions from various kindergarten who are very interested in your topic. We are so happy that you are here. As you are an expert who's pioneer working in multimodal text, and your doctoral degree thesis also focused on this area over 13 years ago. Now we see this concept multimodal literacy emphasized on the new Malaysia preschool curriculum KP 2026. From your perspective, could you explain how this multimodal approach benefits our youngest learners in preschool education?
Okay, so this is a good question, Arvin. So basically, multimodal means we are not just teaching by using words, text, or in other words, symbolic message like alphabets, symbols. So most probably we would like children to participate in a more holistic way. So let me share my slide to answer to the first question. So let me share my slide. And Alvin, see whether you can read my slide. Can you see my slide now?
Yes,
Okay.
can.
Okay. So when we try to introduce multimodal in classroom, so basically I would like to highlight to most of the principles and like what happened in our day-to-day life nowadays compared to those days before the pandemic, back to year 2019 and before. So when we visited a restaurant, so most probably we are going to get a maybe some waiter or waitress to take order from us. And now most of the restaurant, they have already equipped with some QR code. So the operation of a restaurant is changed very drastically. So from the way how they manage and to the way how they operate the restaurant. So the same ideas that we would like to stress today. In fact, if you would like to introduce like multimodal, like what emphasized in curriculum lately, and AI technology as well. So in fact, my only advice is we can look into how multimodal helps. And most probably, we can sort of transform gradually the way how we organize our kindergartens. And why multimodal? According to some research, why multimodal is emphasized so importantly lately. Human brain develop and reaches 90% of its adult volume by the age of 5. So when we reach the 5 years old, in fact, our brain has been developed 90%. In other words, so according to Piaget cognitive development, Piaget is so well known, and the teaching method, in fact, is implemented by most of the kindergarten, direct or indirectly. So children between 2 to 4 years old, 5 years old, in fact, they are still at pre-operational stage. Pre-operational stage. So this is the synapse formation of our brain. So if you look at the picture from the brain research, the moment when we reach 4 years old, in fact, synapse formation, to those that who studied biology before, in fact, our brain is more or less established. And the interesting part is to make the brain develop more intellectually. Intellectually means you are smarter cognitively, you are better in terms of critical thinking, in terms of your intelligence. In fact, we need to develop a child's brain multimodality. Means we try to use a different way to get the children to move around, to listen, to speak something, to sing songs, and to listen to voices, music. And this is where and this is how kindergarten should emphasize nowadays. Okay, so and why multimodal is so important. Basically, children as this age, we are looking into different way and different style of learning. Some children, they learn well when they get the information visually, and some, in fact, belongs to some audio type. So most probably they listen very well because the synapse formation is very well established on the audio side, but not on the other side. And we need to develop children's intelligence. And some, in fact, they learn well by using some task doing. Maybe they do something, they sing song, they dance, they move around. And in fact, to act in a more professional way, so we should look into multimodal learning, like what emphasized by the education department lately. So I'm saying to your question, Alvin.
Okay, thank you for that insight. Now, since around 2021, we have seen AI technology change our daily lives drastically, with examples like just now you mentioned using QR codes to order meals. And the KP 2026 also strongly emphasized digital literacy. How do you see this focus on digital literacy transforming the preschool classroom environment and learning experience?
Okay, this is a very good question again. So before we start and to jump into the teaching method, and most of the kindergarten, in fact, when they come to know some changes, so they always ask a very direct question. Like, for example, do you have a new publication for the books? So they only concerned about the books. But in fact, we should go beyond books. Beyond book doesn't mean that we do not need books. In fact, books is still very important according to research, especially for early child education. But how digital literacy play role? Because I noticed that, in fact, digital literacy is another way, another part where it emphasized so much in education. And this was putting a lot of emphasis by a lot of countries, especially in China and maybe Singapore started back in, years ago. So the importance of books in preschool classes, of course, is you cannot deny the fact that, in fact, it is so important. And we are seeing the world is changing. And some parents, they still quite reluctant to allow children to learn with some digital means, like maybe a tablet computer, which I think we should introduce gradually. We should introduce gradually, because children, they get so interested when they look into the information maybe from a tablet, and they can interact with voice, and now with some AI tools. So since 2021, in fact, there are a lot of changes happening in our life. And I think AI and digital literacy means you know how to use digital as a part of your life to overcome some problem, to live with. So I think this is getting very predominantly important for us to introduce gradually into preschool education. Alvin?
Uh, Great. Dotaku, you have just touched upon multimodal literacy, digital literacy, and AI. And for our educator watching, the big question is how? Could you show us some practical and concrete examples of how a teacher can implement these three powerful elements into their daily lesson plans and teaching materials?
Okay, so let me continue by showing you some of the teaching material. And to address with Alvin, can you see my slide now? Can you?
Yes.
Okay, good. So let me start by, in fact, I prepared the slide for 1.5 hours. So most probably we are going to continue from here on till most probably 5 o'clock as promised. So firstly, I would like to touch on teaching pedagogies. A lot of teachers, they still ask, do you have a lesson plan? Uh, but be very frank, how many of us we really read lesson plan before the lesson? And do we have some other easier way besides the lesson plan? Is still very important as a reference if you want to go in depth. So can we have something more direct? Before we read the lesson plan, can we have something more direct? Means we are able to see how to carry out a task. So today, in fact, I'm going to show you some examples. So let me show you by introducing teaching steps which we should focus on in a preschool education. So let me share with the website that we have just revamped. We have just revamped. Alvin, can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, very good. So if you go to the Mels website, in fact, we have just changed the website, and the pedagogical model in a preschool classroom, we can always let the teachers aware. And most of the teachers, in fact, they are highly aware intuitively, means they know what it is, but it's just that they can't express it so directly because they are been in early child education for years. But of course, they know what it is. So let me repeat. To start with the pedagogical model, so it is always important for us to look into steps when we introduce lessons in preschool classroom. So the pedagogical model that I'm going to introduce today is I do, we do, you do. So what does it mean by I do, we do, you do? So in fact, this is a flow happening in 3 stages. 3 stages, in fact, it has to be carried out by most of the teachers and in most of the classes, most of the lessons, I would say. Firstly, the teachers will, step one, I do. The teacher will start to introduce some ideas. How could we do it effectively? When we talk about effective learning, of course, when we teach children, Parents, they send children to kindergartens. Mostly, we have to assure them. In fact, the children, they can really learn. We can see the learning outcomes. By end of the day, what we put in our curriculum, what is raised by the government, what is raised by your kindergarten, can it be seen, felt by the children when they leave the kindergarten, when they go back home? Do they gain the knowledge? I think this is come into the most concerning part. So in order to do it, most of the kindergarten nowadays, especially in Malaysia and in some other country as well, so we are getting more and more qualified teachers. Like the government this time, in fact, they emphasize all the teacher has to be very qualified, a degree holder and so on in early child education. So we are looking into a very professional way. And if you want to carry out in a very professional way, so we have to do it in a very systematic way. Like, how are we going to introduce the knowledge? In some other session, if let's say we have more audience, most probably we will look into that part. So most probably we can introduce the idea, like maybe we can tell story. But of course, I would like to emphasize one thing here. Not necessarily you have to use digital tools. You can use toys, you can use, build a stage, you can bring the children to the real scenario, real places. All in all, in fact, introduce them to the knowledge. Engage them, make them attracted to the knowledge. Sometimes you can use Q&A, can ask them some question. So this is the first part. So when the teacher introduce the ideas, try to interact them. I do. Then we go to the second stage. So when we see or we observe children, they have started to give a very positive response. Then we should go into the second stage, interactive and participative activities. Try to organize some short activities, maybe 10 to 20 minutes, where all the children can act, can play with the knowledge that we are teaching at the moment. Let's say you can use some very simple way, can use some flashcard. But of course, if you have time, if you can have that comfort facilities, you can even bring children to cook. It's nice to have, but sometimes the feasibility side is a concern. Whether it is feasible, do we have the space, do we have the time? So that will come into another question. But anyway, the second stage is let them do together. So now, once the first stage, the teacher will introduce the ideas. Maybe you can go to the second stage. When children, they start to participate, when they start to contribute to some ideas, they interact, they learn collaboratively, then we go to the third stage, you do. This is the most important part. You do means children, most probably, and the most easiest way, when I raise this, in fact, I'm targeting into some kindergarten where the time is not too long for the children to stay in your kindergarten, and the teachers' time is very limited. We have so many things to cover, and teachers are so busy to deal with not only several students, some of them they deal with 15, 20 children, or even more. Sometimes we have to look into whether it is feasible to have such an activities. So maybe we can look into individualized activities. So individual activities means it can be as simple as maybe some flashcard activities, maybe some tablet. You let the children to practice, and where the teachers can see the result. Or maybe we can give them as simple as a worksheet for them to paste sticker on. So if you want to transform your kindergarten to a more professional way, like what we are seeing in many places nowadays. So in fact, there's a big change. I've been in this kindergarten field for more than 25 to 30 years. So we travel a lot together with some of my colleagues. So maybe we travel to some kindergarten, we sit in, when I was young. So most of the time we sit in, even Sabah, we go to Tawau, we go to, everywhere. We go to Singapore, we go to, Terengganu side, we go to even as as deep into some places like Moa, like in China, every small places, we take buses. So we sit in Hong Kong, we spoke to parents. So in fact, we've been in this field for many years. So we are able to see that in fact, there's a lot of changes take place recently. Okay. And lastly, because of the new technologies happening nowadays, we can always look into a more holistic approach. Holistic approach means let parents comes in. Let parents comes in. It means what we are teaching children, what the children they are very familiar with, not just to play with the children, sing several songs, flash several card, but what the children remain in their mind. So children, in fact, when they go back, can we have what we learn in the kindergarten appear, repeat again when they go back, when they are on their free time with parents? So can we allow the parents to join in as well? Create a very conducive and holistic environment for the children, so that the parents can feel, in fact, most probably what we are teaching, the teacher can feel very comfortable. So the children, they can share with the same piece of material, they can listen to the same song. So what they sing in your classroom, most probably when they go back, they can click, they can play the song, they can involve in the activities and do it again to show it to the parents. So this is the flow. And for this flow, I would like to give some examples. So let me show you with some example. So Alvin, can you see my slide now?
Yes, we can see
Okay.
clearly.
Let me show you with the first example. Always remember, all the teachers, can you remember, and maybe you can just type in the chat room to be more interactive, because there are so many teachers today compared to our principals. There are quite a number of principals here, but in fact, we have many teachers now in our webinars. So can you type in the chat room? Can you help me to be more interactive? Can you still remember the 3 steps of teaching flow when we try to conduct a proper lesson in the preschool classroom? So what are the pedagogical flow? What is the first stage? What is the second stage? What is the third stage? Can you recall? Can you help me to type in the chat room? Yes, thank you very much. So the first one is, can someone type in the chat room? First one is the teacher is going to show the ideas. I do. Then, when we feel more confidence, then we go to the second stage. We do. Can we do it together? We do. And what is the final stage, which is the most important part? So no matter what we carry out previously, children can enjoy happily. They can dance, they can play with the teachers, but do they learn? Do they learn? So can we get the learning outcomes? Outcome means they really happen on themselves. We can see it, we can feel it, become their knowledge. They gain the knowledge, they can perform, they can show it to you. So let me show you some examples nowadays. Now, the first is I'm going to play maybe sometime we can go to some software and on my right hand side, I'm going to play maybe some simple video clips, some software. So on my left hand side is a worksheet. So first stage and second stage, you can always combine, but you have to make sure there's a clear phase where the first stage or first and the second stage is entering into the third stage. So let me play the program. So I'm going to introduce, for example, how are we going to show, how are you going to tell the children matching capital letter to small letter. So children, are you ready?
Big and small, they running in the sun. Big, B and small, we having so much fun. Big C and small, C dancing in the rain. Big B and small, B singing loud again. Big B and small, B laughing wild and free.
Let me have a pause for a short while because we have so many parts to go on. Don't worry about how to access to the program. I'm going to show you in a very easy way. So basically, just show children with something very simple. It lasts for only a couple of minutes. Then we can bring up some toys. We can use some flashcard. So we in the website now, we also prepare some digital card where you can print yourself. You just click, then you download the PDF. Or you can do it in your tablet or your old mobile phone. Don't throw away. It's very useful nowadays. It doesn't worth much anymore for those very old mobile phone, but you can still bring it and contribute to kindergartens. Most probably you can bring it to the classroom, 3 or 4 sets. Maybe you can play with some digital flashcard, maybe some games, and let the children enjoy when the teacher is teaching the ideas. Can you click the song? Can you sing together? Can you click and play? So some children, in fact, you can treat as a toys, because this is very simple, teachers, because previously we need to, let's say we want to teach 26 letters, we have to get all the alphabets, the toys. And what happened if one of those missing, then lost? Then you have to buy the whole set again. And the time spent to keep the toys is a concern. But if, let's say, we can convert it to some digital toys, and of course, we still need some real, tangible, physical toys. And what about if we can try to add several set of those used phone? If you throw it away, if you sell it, it doesn't worth much anymore. And why not just bring it and contribute to some kindergartens and maybe charge it very properly? Just download the app, then play the songs and play the game. I'll show you some interactive games which we have developed for the past more than 2.5 years. So most probably we can let the children play, then get them have the ideas. Then we go to the worksheet. This is one of the very simple and easy way. So let me show you with the another approach. So I'm going to show you words and pictures. Let's start. Alvin, can you see my slide?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So teachers, please bear with me and listen to. I'm going to show children. Now this one, I'm going to have some flashcard.
A-R-R-O arrow arrow
This is an arrow.
B-U-S bus bus
This is a bus.
C-A-T cat
And this is
cat
obviously a multimodal teaching. Multimodal teaching means beside words, we have some real movement, interaction, where the message is very clear what a cat is, what a doll is. Some children can't even recognize a doll and a toys.
doll E-G-G egg egg
Okay, now, sometimes you might have more time to spend with your children for some specific part of your lesson. So in this case, so we can always introduce more multimodal approach. So we prepare some flashcard, but you will have to download it yourself, and if you do not want it to be in that way, because paper doesn't cost much now, the delivery cost is very expensive. And the cost to produce the card is very expensive. You want to get some company to print the card, to cut the card for you, And what happens if, let's say, you have maybe 500 words, 500 different words. If one piece is missing, then you have to get it replaced. Of course, you are still very welcome to get this up. And in fact, it's very costly to get, a lot of channel. Maybe you get some printing happen. But what about if you try to change it to some digital card? But if you still believe in some, paper-based card, yes, print yourself and prepare some simple envelope. So these are the activities that we have added in our program now. So look at the how it works. So children, they look at certain characters. So we have some characters. So we use the same characters and we use some stickers. Children, they like to play with stickers, and we are going to show children. So let me show you how. So we can prepare the card, and the card has different characters. So the characters is looking at an object like a cat, a bus, apple, a bag. But before that, show them with videos, show them with some interactive games. So we are not only having videos, we have a lot of interactive or even AI game. So I will show you gradually. So after this, and then the children, they will play themselves. So they're going to have a small piece of paper, a small piece of card. Then they will try to refer the person and the object. What next? Then ask them to compare with the worksheet. The same characters, the same boy is standing next to a cat. So can you find the words cat? So most probably they can play and put some stickers. When you try to use stickers, buy some simple and not so costly kind of stickers, like maybe some round stickers which you can buy in bulk. Buy in bulk, and it doesn't cost us so much. Compare with if you would like to have a lot of tailor-made stickers, which is quite expensive. Okay, so this sticker, in fact, you can buy it, from a lot of channel now online, and try to integrate this into many activities. So with this in place, we can have a luxurious ways to have multimodal teaching. Remember, it helps children brain to develop to become a smarter child, because the brain, the synapse formation is getting more wired, more well established. Okay, this is another approach. We can have some card, children can slot in, children can use stickers to paste, compared to the previous exercises where they just use pen to join. Okay, so this is the second method which I would like to show it to you. Now, let me show you where are we going to access to this kind of assessment. We make it very easy for the teachers. So let me show how easy it is. Just go to the website. Just go to the Mels website. Go to the Mels website now. This is the Mels website. Alvin, can you see the website now?
I think you are sharing.
Okay, so you can see the website. So just go to the mels.com, mels.my or .hk, either one will work well. But of course, you need a password. This is a new package. You need a password, to sign in. Then go to the teaching part. This is meant for teachers, and select the subject. We only have AI, English, and Chinese at the moment. Then you just go to maybe the one that I've just showed it to you. Most probably you can click the software. Then this is what the teachers might need. It's been divided in a very clear manner. And don't worry, teachers, you do not need to access to the software and look for the software. In fact, we have a very easy way for you to reach the software. I will show it shortly. So it's very clear. A, B, storytelling. You have vocab, you have phonics, you have songs. Then go to the silver level. Then you can show them the vocab, real cat in action. Then you can have voice. Then you can have practices, game. We have designed several games for the children. So you can click the game flag and then click the games and then see whether they can remember. You can remember the pictures. You can, this is match, this is match. Yeah, they are well matched. Then go to the next one. This is head. So this is head, it's well matched. So there are some game, and this belongs to first and the second stage. Teaching means teachers can show it and discuss with children. All teachers can invite children to come to the front and join as a part of the lesson. So it's very simple. You can go to the second part, the third part, and so on. So we can go to the some subsequent part as well. And it's so simple for you to click. And sometimes after the lesson, you want the children to practice. And how many paper pieces of worksheet can you give to the children? Some children, they want more. So can we, beside the worksheet are still very important, but can we prepare some practices for the children? Just switch it on. Then let's say bronze. Now vocabulary. So we have plenty of questions. So we have a lot of digital questions. And the children, once they have completed, they can get some hand clapping, encouragement. They can get some star. They can get some motivation. So this is some way to gamify the children. So we can let the children spend some time to practice. So when they go back, so most probably children can still access the same practices again. So the question, in fact, they can refresh and get another set, and from there they can learn more and more and more from according to their abilities. So like this one. So this is focusing on maybe words and pictures. So this is obviously is a dash.
You are correct.
Then hand clapping. So let's go to the second question. So these are the questions that we can get the children, and then we can go to the next part. And then we can even go to the some part like phonics. So children, they can listen. Let's say B, then they can listen. This is the practice side. So they can listen to the sound. Then they can go to the question. So listen carefully. So which one is the answers? So they can try to click to see whether C, is it correct? Then they can try to check.
Can you try again?
Can you try again? So most probably try A and see whether it's
You
correct.
try again.
Then maybe you can try another one and to see whether it is
You are
correct.
correct.
Then you can get the answer finally. And we can even go to some reading part. So the reading part. So what is this? Listen to the question.
What is she eating?
What is she eating? So you need to use your own voice. You just press the button. Apple.
You are correct.
Then the computer will listen to your saying, what you say. Then the AI system will verify whether you say correctly. But of course, this is only at the bronze level. When you go to the silver level, you can read the whole sentence. For example, you can read the whole sentence. So the AI system can analyze what you are reading.
Try again.
Can you try again? You are a rat.
You are correct.
You are a rat. This is what I read. So this is what posted here. Then the computer is accumulating, is studying your performance. Now I go to the second question. I like it. Thank you.
You are correct.
Then I go to the third question. Let's say I might mistakenly read some word wrongly. Look at my bat.
You are correct.
So, of course, they will try to praise the children. We try to give some very positive way if most of the words are correct. But the computer has already highlighted the errors. It's recorded. is recorded. If you sign in with the children account, the computer will study how many words the child has learned. In fact, I love IT and AI tools a lot. That's why we develop a lot of, but of course, it's not me, my programmers. We develop for the past 2.5 years. So we develop a lot of new toys, new tools to assist children, to let them stay very independent, to help kindergarten, to help the parents. So let's see what now let's go to the next one. So I'm going to record. Now I'm saying something which has been recorded. So of course, obviously there are some errors going to happen here. So let's
Can
see.
you try again?
I'm going to record. So what I read, in fact, appear here. So let me try again. I am on the mat.
You are correct.
Let me show you with some wrong pronunciation, like mat. British sound, mat. It's not mat. It's not mat either. Okay. So what about if I try to say, I am on the mat?
You are correct.
So very closely, they will treat it as correct. So you do not have to worry. Unless the children, in fact, say it in a very wrong way, then it can be recognized very easily. You are a rat.
You are correct.
Now, once I have read some of the words, now the computers know which words I know well. Then, do you want to read more? Because one of the way to encourage children to learn more is not just from you, teachers. We are just extending our helping hand. The more successful teaching happens when the children, when they leave the kindergarten, they can be on their own to read other storybook. Now, AI can help us. I love the AI program a lot. That's why of my interest as well. So we try to develop a lot of, can we read more? Then the computer will generate another new passage. Each time is different. Each time is generated different set of reading material based on the ability of the child. So this is AI, artificial intelligence. They try to study some words that you learn. They try to recognize your voice. Then they try to rearrange according to your abilities. So we follow two main material. One is DOLCH. If you are in the education field for long enough, you know what is sight word. Sight word is formed by, in fact, is developed, established by Dr. William in year 1942 up to now. So they developed 220 sight words. Sight word means those words that happen very frequently for children learning material. Sight word. It's not phonics. Sight word means those words which cannot be explained phonetically, like TO. TO is a sight word. And you cannot use T-ter, O-or, T-o-tor, wrong. T-o is true. It's a totally different, way of saying the words. In fact, there are many. So altogether, there are 220 based on research. And it lasts up to today. And beside this, you have the Montessori Phonics 44. So those on Montessori Phonics 44 sound. So can we combine what the children have learned previously and let the system do the work for us? Act professionally. Tell your parents you are with AI now. So let them feel it. Let them feel it. So now AI will analyze and generate some interesting story for you. Then you just click. Yes, I'm on the mat.
You are correct.
Okay, I will not proceed further on this part, and just to highlight to you how this works. Okay, so let me continue with some other parts of program, and I hope you are here today. You gain some ideas, and there are many teachers here today, and I really hope I won't disappoint you. Don't worry, it is not so difficult. I will show you some very simple way to reach your learning material with just a scan. Don't worry. let me proceed with some other parts to grab the time. Now, let's go to the second part. When we try to read story to the children, when the parent asks, what is multimodal? What does why it is why it is so why it matters, why it's so important? Children, when they are 3 and 4 years old, show them with some very simple and direct animations. You know, so animation, voice, sound can add value to the original text. Like for example, this is a rat. So can we add some sound made by the rat, the movement made by the rat, the food for the rat? You know, it enriches the children's learning. And the most important part is it gives more multimodal message to trigger children's mind so that they become a smarter child. They become a smarter generation. If you don't do it, some other preschool, they will look into it. Okay, so now let me show you for 4 or 5 years old, most probably we can show children the reading according to the book. So they read. So they read, you know, then we can show them the animation. And when you go to the next part, so let me play. When they reach 6 years old, can we have more information for them? So look into the reading material. Listen very carefully.
Hey. We see and hear with eyes and ears. We feel and eat with hands and mouth. And walk along the beach with our strong little feet.
Ask the question. Teachers, ask the questions. Let me repeat. Critical reading.
Hey. We see and
Wait, sorry. We see and hear. So how the boy is able to recognize, to know that in fact, the dog or the puppy is approaching with the barking. We see, we hear, and how about the next part?
eyes and ears. We feel and eat with hands and mouth.
So we feel and eat with hands and mouth. So why do we need to feel on the food that we are putting into our mouth? Most probably it is hot, it hurts, and it is always good for us to feel the cup or the glass of drink that before we pour into our mouth, our inner mouth. So most probably we need to feel the temperatures. So whether it is hot and it might hurt your mouth. Lastly, why it is so difficult? Sometimes when we teach children, we are triggering the mind with language. Reading always triggers the children's mind with language. So show our passion in teaching, show our passion in reading, and provide our teachers with some facilities so that in fact, when the children they go back, they can explain to the parents, and this is how critical thinking start to establish and develop. So let's proceed to the next part. So children, in fact, they can just read. They can just read and they record. They test how many words they are able to say properly. So they will be rewarded with maybe some star, some point, so they can get the encouragement and let the parents aware. So what you are providing now, in fact, is in par, in fact, is according to the latest generation and according to what the children can use in futures. So this is the reading, okay? So now, another part, after children they have read, so most probably we can let the children to have a practice. So let me show it to you, the sentence. I couldn't complete all the parts, which I hope I can. But in fact, I just show you some idea, but it doesn't really matter. And because as you teach, so most probably you can pick up. I will show you the very simple way how teachers can assess and know what to do with the material very directly. So let me show you with this part. So let's say I'm looking into the teaching part. I'm looking into the practice part now. Practice for sentence reading. Sentence reading. So let the children assess this. So listen.
Are you that? Yes, I am.
Are you that? Yes, I am. So each time the computer system will simulate a sentence. Words are all from what you have learned previously. Basically, the interaction is very important. So listen again.
Are you that? Yes, I am.
Are you that? I've forgotten the next few words. Listen again.
Are you that? Yes, I am.
Maybe yes, I am. It looks like it is wrong. Then you can always change. Yes, I am. Let's check.
You are correct.
I got it correctly. So sentence reading. So we are facilitating children's learning. So we are bringing learning to the next level. So we belongs to the international standard. Let the parent aware, because digital is helping us, and let the teachers to have more way to let the children learn in a more effective manner. So let me show you how the teachers can access to it very easily. I recorded this with my own computers, and let me show it to you because it might be very important to those kindergarten. You are so concerning about how you are going to, because with the introduction of the new curriculum, so most probably I would like to tell you this is an opportunity. So Alvin, can you read my slide now? Can I? Okay, let me show you.
Each time, when you click, a new set of reading material
So we have
generated.
recorded this and tell you
Split
how
into
to
simple
generate
sentences.
the AI system in our system. So most probably you can learn it from the teachers and the phonics system. And now you can show them the videos. And sometimes when we teach vocabulary, you can play the videos, or when we talk about Chinese later on, like English language, how about teaching vocab with some riddles? All of us, we know riddles very well. We've been listening and playing with our teachers and maybe with our parents, with some reading materials, with some some songs, riddles. Riddles are so commonly used in teaching vocabulary. So can we introduce riddles to our preschool student? So let me show you how this works. Elvin, can you listen to my, can you read my slide, Elvin? Are you here? Okay, let me play the video.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I worried they couldn't see the slide. So let me play the slide.
And
Reader with Nanny Nancy. So this is Nancy. Nanny Nancy.
Children, can you make a guess? Listen. You wipe your feet on me by the door. I lie on the floor. And don't say much more. What am I?
Right.
Say much more.
So there are a lot of nursery rhymes, riddles, hide and seek games. We try to introduce because with the convenience of digital nowadays, so we can always add this kind of activities in the classroom. So when the teachers they are free, so when they feel appropriate, because depend on the situation, sometimes the teacher are in a different situation. Sometimes they might be in a rush. Sometimes they feel that the children, they are not ready. But when the time is there, teachers can always pick one of the activities and show to the children. So you wipe your feet on me. You wipe your feet on me by the doll. I lie on the floor. And don't say much more. What am I? A cat, a rat, a hat, or a mat? So these are some riddles where we can use in a classroom. Okay, now most of the teachers, they are so worried. There are so many. We have several thousand different set of material ready for teachers to access, more than what you need in the classroom. And it matches very well with the books. And how are you going to use it? So let me show it to you. So let me play a videos. It's very simple. Basically, you try to turn on your computers or maybe your screen. Then the book,
Find the code and enter it into the on-screen box to access the
we try to add a code here in the new book. So the teachers, you can, because scan, we intend to put a QR code. And we know very well, some teachers, they are not using mobile phone. You know, you are not just showing your children with a mobile phone. Maybe you need the screen. So we change to some code. So if you go to the software here, like over here, ES11, I'll show you how it works. Then teachers can key in the code here. Go to the screen. I will show in the details later on. Very simple. Each time when you go to the page with the code, before you start to teach, just key in the code. Then the sets of software, in fact, it is not only one. Sometimes it can have more than one. It will show on the screen. Then teachers, most probably you can save a lot of time by just tap the code. Then try to access to the software directly. So sometimes we have some flashcard attached on the page. You can download yourself. You can open the class yourself.
play a game to review what we just learned.
Okay, so this is where the teachers will feel very convenient. So let me show you in real how this actually works. So let me share my screen, and most probably you could look into this, and there's one search button here. You just click. Then on the page, maybe you have the code. Then you just type the code and click search. Then you will go to the program directly. So it's very simple for the teachers to access to the program. Then you just browse through the program to see whether the buttons are good enough for you to use to be consumed in your classroom. If it is, then most probably you can use it in the classroom. So we are preparing some teaching and practices. Teachers can always use the practice to give more example for your student, especially when we are talking about stage 1 and stage 2. But when you are in your classroom and we would like to have an additional part for your student after the lesson, most probably some they stay back in the afternoon and you want them to have more activities. Most probably this can occupy the time. At the same time, children can feel, something for them to learn, and it can be well recorded and it's very individualized. Individualized in the sense that, in fact, children can go by their own pace with some guidance of the teachers. Okay, so with this in place, I'm very sure it is very convenient for teachers to access directly to the program. You just look into the page. So if there are some suitable program for the children, you just click and switch, then they will jump to the page immediately. So let me proceed to the next part, okay? So if the teachers, because previously when we give training, and be very frank, it's almost impossible to train teachers everything. And in fact, they do not need much of our training. They have their own way of teaching. I believe all teachers are professionals, especially those they are with preschool for more than 20 years, 10 years. But what we need to tell the teachers is some facility where to access to them. And the teachers will have their own decision to see whether it is suitable. And some principal would like to know whether they need to buy or they need to install a smart board. So let me show. In fact, we've been spending 2.5 years to really revamp the program. Because the KP 2026 was not announced yesterday. It was years ago, especially as early as during the introduction of STEM education in 2019 to 2020. They've been announced that in fact some changes will take place. So we try to study what our strength lies on: multimodal, digital, make teachers' life more easier to teach, so that teachers in fact can spend more time to arrange to face the children. And we have some smart system for you to mark your homework as well. I will show it to you if you have time later on. So let me show you what are the advantage of smart board. Yes or no, because some kindergarten say, oh, this is addition. In addition, I do not need this at the moment. Yes, but anyway, we would like to let you know, just because some they have some doubt to see whether smart board is good to be introduced into the kindergarten. Maybe they will start with one piece of smart board, then gradually you want more, because primary school now most of the classroom are equipped with smart board, and it's not something new, but some kindergarten would like to consider it. Our software is ready. Now let me show you some features where you can consider. One of them, in fact, I tried to have Zoom session with the supplier, get them help take some photos for us. That's why I'm showing you today, because it's too difficult for us to show it on the spot, and it takes too much time for you to stay with us. Smart board, the beauty part, or the interactive board, the beauty part is they can have multiple screen. Multiple screen means you can open on the left hand side one screen. Some smart board can offer up to 20 screen. 20 screen. 20 screen means you can have different game or the same games opening up to 20 or 5 or 6 smaller screens. Then you can get your children to come to the front. They can play themselves, or they can play interactively. Interactively means what they enter here is a concern to the others. You can have some group games. Group game means let's form 2 groups. Group A with 2 children, group B with another 2. Let's play with some words game, you know. So this is one of the features. Another features, let me play, you know, it's more direct, but of course it's very costly for smartboard. Sometimes think twice whether it worth. Oh, so but our program is definitely ready. So you can drag the button. You can drag the button. You can drag the button here. Okay, you can drag the button here. Okay. Hey, sorry. And you can even write for Chinese words. Why? Look at the screen very carefully. Because Chinese word, the stroke, the sequence, which come first, which come next is very important. So when you write like these words, these characters, you need to start with the right stroke. Wrong stroke, it cannot work. It's wrong. Then you have to rewrite again. So this is why smartboard can play the role very well. Children, but of course you can use iPad or tablet computer as well, but the screen is too small. Okay, so think it twice whether you need this kind of features. If you do, most probably you can consider it. Okay, so let me proceed. Now, most of our teachers now, I would say all, are very professionals, especially with the new implementation of the government. So the teachers need to be very professionally trained in preschool education. So we need to bring up the level of early educators. At the same time, the standard, of course, the material have to follow as well. We are not using some old ideas, you know, and what the children learn and cannot use for the futures. So as a teachers, let me tell you, comparatively, I do not need to elaborate much more on the content, because most of the teachers, they know our Mels content very well. It's very professionally done. Phonics 44 complete. You can't find any missing part. Phonics 44 sound, are complete. The sound are native speakers, completely delivered sentence, dot, side word, everything theoretically I think is quite complete. But another aspect, compare Chinese and English language. I just make a comparison, okay? So what are the difference? We need to know. Because when we teach children, Chinese, we have 4 tones, right? Like what appear here, the first tone, ma, 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 ma. 4 tones. And English language, we have long and short vowels. So can we make it a concern for the children to aware, to know it matters. It matters a lot in Chinese when we say the words in the wrong tone, or when we say the pronunciation long and short way wrongly. First, if I try to say something like 我要马, they are 2 different sentences. So the tone is a concern. Now, secondly, Chinese words is very different from English language because the character itself split into the meaning and the sound. The meaning and the sound. Do you make it aware to your children? Some they just teach blindly. But early childhood educators act professionally. Like what happened in some other countries. Like I interviewed one of my students, I think in early August. We put it in the YouTube channel. I do not know how many teachers have watched the videos. So in fact, I got 1 master degree graduates from my class. She was a Chinese teacher for more than 6 years in China. I caught her. In fact, I dragged her, help me to take a video, explain Chinese in China, whole country, the textbook of primary 1. So we explain the teaching method, how they use, And from the first page to the last chapter, first half, second half in the YouTube, you can search for it. And at least we know the Chinese words development in China for the past 45 years. So, I think it's good for us to, get ourselves know more about Chinese, like Chinese word. How are we going to split them into two parts? Like some certain part means they give you the meaning. Certain part, they give you the sound. Are you aware of it? Do you make it a concern for the children to recognize the nature of words? This is my point. Okay, another part, in fact, we have many parts, all been included in the software. But some teachers, they don't see it. But gradually, I think you will. Chinese word is very different from English sentences. Sorry, Chinese sentences are very different from English sentences. Like Chinese, they always put, the time words, they always come, it always come in front compared to, English words like I will go tomorrow. Tomorrow will come next. But in Chinese, you will not say I will go tomorrow. You will say 我明天去. Then the time is always come to the front compared to English language. So this is the norm, the nature of the language. And do you make it known to your children? Do you? If you just simply read, you don't make it a concern, a point for the children to differentiate the languages. In fact, we are not really, giving early preschoolers the right language knowledge. Okay, you just read. You just use the phone and scan the sentence. Now a lot of AI tools can help you to read. But our mind in AI generation, we need to train thinking mind, critical mind to differentiate. She went to school. 她去学校了. So the 了 is very important. Why? Already. That's why a lot of Chinese spoken English speakers, Chinese spoken English speakers, they will always say, I went to school already. Why? And because they used to use the nature of the language. I go already. Why? Because so can we get rid of this kind of bad habits? Can we? By knowing the language very well, sometimes we can, let the children learn a language in a more proper beginning. Like I ate pizza yesterday. You don't say 我吃 pizza 昨天. You say 我昨天. So this is how. And another part, in fact, the combination of meaning block. In Chinese, how Chinese name English words? 单词. Why 词? Because English word is a phrase by itself, but not Chinese. Chinese, they combine single characters, like 电脑. So they use 电 and 脑. Like 火车, they use 火和车. So are you aware of this? Because if you try to bring the kindergarten to the next level, I think you must make it a concern. Upgrade your kindergarten to act in a more professionally. Okay, so and for Chinese teaching, the teaching aid can be very different. Why? Can you remember what I just said? The pronunciation. Because you need to know ma, 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 ma. So 4 different tones. But if you try to use the different tones for the children, when it comes to reading, most of the reading material, if you read my YouTube interview with the Chinese teachers, 6 years teachers in China, she explained why Chinese reading always appear in rhymes. 儿歌. Why? Because they want the children to get used to the different tones. Can we convert it to sound when we read? Yes, let me show it to you. So this is coming to an end, another 10 more to 15 minutes. Let me show you how to initiate reading for preschool children. Listen. I do not have voice. I'll show it.
I
the actual
cannot
program
hear
to you.
the
Yeah,
voice.
sure, it's all right.
No
So
sound.
I will show the actual program. Don't worry. You can still go to the website and listen. Why? Because if you are very concerning about the quality of teachings to raise your level, I think you can always look into how multimodal right tools, AI system can bring your kindergarten to the next level. And all the teachers can join and feel very happy about it. So let me show you. You just go to the website. You can access to the website directly. Now, let me go to the reading. So let me go to the reading, like this one, 4 years old. Then 5 years old, reading. Then you can sing with a song. You can sing the song and play with the children. So integrate the body movement so that children, they can sing and dance in the classroom. Then go to another readings. The same topics. I will show you the book later on. Okay, so when you focusing on this part, you are going to introduce the vocab. And the vocab can be interestingly introduced, like maybe this one. Then you can show them, what is this? This is a spoon, 汤匙. Okay, then what about this? And this is a 茶杯. Then we can go to the pronunciation, 拼音. So when you teach 拼音, how are you going to teach 拼音? So always introduce some
张大嘴巴，啊啊
口诀，
啊，
张大嘴巴，Then you can even show them with a short movies. Question, movie I'll show later. So now listen, and you can download the flashcard and let the children play with the games. I'll show it to you later. Okay, after the music ends, then they will ask the question. So can you find the card to show the sound? Or sometimes you do not want both. You just want to listen and get the card and print it yourself, put into the classroom, and let the children pick the card. So this is stage 2. Children learn in group. Always remember, teacher just need to type the code, then they will go to the program directly. So, then you can go to the next part. So this part, in fact, you can explain. Okay, so this gentleman is cooking. So he would like to serve the children in queue with bowls of soaps. So what does he need now? A bowl. So which one is a bowl? Which one is a bowl? Is this the one? No. Which one is the bowl? Yeah, this is the one. Explain the context. The context means the environment. Then you can download this is to download the flashcard. Flashcard you download, it will give you the PDF. You print yourself, okay? Then you can even sing the song. So let me show you the song of a cup. Listen. Then, how about chopstick song? Okay, the idea in fact is to play the song, not necessarily you have to sing all the song or else it will become a music lesson. So you just play the song, let the children play with the card, then you just let the children know, okay, after the song ended, can you help me to collect all the chopstick words, and put it on the table? Can you? So this is the ideas, okay? So you just imagine in fact how resourceful it is going to be. So you can always go to the 笔画. This is the 笔画. Then when you tell the stroke, listen.
小小数画像支笔，不弯不歪，很神奇。
不弯不歪，很神奇。点。
小小点像雨滴，
小小点
轻轻
像雨滴，
稍稍按，停一停，往回藏。肚子圆圆真漂亮。
肚子圆圆真漂亮。So then
铁像柳叶写，从粗到细写出尖。
So this is another one.
像滑梯，一滑到底，轻轻起笔，那叫平底。
So when you introduce children with this kind of ideas, okay, so most probably you can read, you can have different context to show them. This is only for vocab, okay? So as I mentioned to you before, it's very simple. You just click, then most probably you can click and you can play with the program, you can sing the song, and you can even read. I'm reading now. Or I just read to a particular sentence.
不说话，不打闹，不挑食，要吃饱。
And not only that, you can proceed to the practicing side. Practicing sides means children, after they have learned, you can go to the same topics. Then you can let the children learn the pinyin. Then they can answer to the question. Or you can go to the 笔画. Then the children can learn how to write. 人. Then you can see the demo. Or you can write yourself the stroke. So if you write wrongly, it won't accept. You have to follow to the right stroke. Then it turn to duck. And you can even read yourself, teachers. Let the children read to see whether the pronunciation is accurate. 吃得饱，身体好。Record. 吃得饱，身体好。
可以再试一次吗？
My pronunciation is wrong. 吃 not 吃. So this is how, in fact, the system will recognize your pronunciation with our AI system. Okay, lastly, if the teacher would like to treat this as a homework, do it in a very easy way. How? You just set to autopilot. Autopilot means the children, when they go back They just follow the numbers. They start with 1, assigned by the kindergarten, of course. When the teacher finish teaching, press a button, the homework sent. Then the children will just follow 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you will receive the result. And the most important part is it will mark the answer automatically. So you are free from marking the homework. And the children can play, can record, they can generate the new material for the children. And basically, and you can even go to the website and take a close look on the book, the content. So it's so simple for you. But of course, this is just a sample set. So you can go to the Chinese. Then you can go to the page. You can go to the page. You can go to the page. No point for us to keep on changing the cartoon, the colors. If the book, the content is good, we just upgrade. Upgrade means we add some code, we change some pictures. Previously, the pictures are not so beautiful, are not clearly show. And can we upgrade the quality of the pictures? Can we, maybe sometimes the words are too small, the practices are too few. So can we improve it a little bit? Can we add some code here? So we are looking for improvement. So we are not always looking for change. Is there any new thing that we can change? Always change, and end up you always remain at the preliminary level. So we try to reach more kindergarten, especially we've been introducing this for more than 18 years. The whole material, but we never stop improving it. So according to the requirement of the curriculum, of course, and the government, they also want the children to be brought up in a more proper way. And besides the languages improvement, because of the technology, which you can't deny, technology, in fact, transforming the way how we work. So what I'm showing you today, in fact, now it's 5 o'clock. So a new approach, we spend a lot of time to do it, but we really hope, because some kindergarten, they still raise the same question: is there any changes to the book? I say yes, but please come in and listen. Some, they are too busy, but of course there are so many, so we split into several sessions. So there are a lot of ways where we can learn how are we going to improve it, so that in fact it will be beneficial for the teachers, for the kindergarten, and for the parents. Okay, so I think today I have delivered my talk, and I hope I'm not wasting your time. I'm adding value. I try very hard, and if I'm not able to come to your satisfaction level, so let me say sorry and apologize for what I missed. And if not, in fact, I would like to stop here as promised to our 1.5 hours. So I will pass the session to Alvin. So are you still here?
Thank you, Dr. Koo. You present very clearly. And before we end our section, actually, there's a
I didn't see your
question
picture, Alvin.
about just now. You mentioned the try the practice
Yeah, the
for
line is
free.
a bit,
So
yeah, yes, please. Proceed, please, Alvin.
yeah, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah, that's a question. So it's about the practice. Just now you mentioned and you show it. Is it for free or can let the customer try?
But of course, the trial version is always ready, and because AI tools consume a lot of ChatGPT consumption. Of course, we can't afford to provide it for free, because each time when you use the AI, in fact, we're going to pay ChatGPT or DeepSeek, and of course the server, and we need to maintain all the, because providing software is very different from providing books. Providing book, you just design once for all. But you need to, have a group of, programmer now are very expensive. So you need to make sure they are there. So they are still working. And then we need a very big group of team to maintain Android, iOS. So a lot of animation with some AI tools, then maybe some different level of people. So the practices, in fact, is meant because lately a lot of kindergarten, they are looking into some digital books. And they are looking for a more convenient way because AI now can help marking. But by the way, we also have some other tools now on other website to help some childcare, some secondary school to mark the homework, because AI now can mark your articles, your your passage. When you write a passage, AI can help you to mark and give you some comment. So we also have some other tools as well. So a lot of teachers, they try to go to the next level of teaching. Next level of teaching means they really act very professionally. So this time we need to look into, can AI help us to manage children's homework? So teachers, after they have taught, so maybe they can send some simple practices to the children beside the worksheet. Okay, so and conduct a session to let your parents know. Maybe once a month or twice a month, parents can complete some e-book, e-practices. Want it or not, children now, they are playing with mobile phone. And try to tell the parent, make the effort worth, let them attracted to the meaningful content rather than those content which might not be, at the advantage of the child to stay with the digital tools all the while. So sometimes we can start to give them the very positive knowledge. And the buying point for the kindergarten is you can have the record. You see whether it helps children to improve over some period of time. So we are entering into the level of analytical level. Analytical level means teacher's role or the principal role, most probably we analyze to see whether it is worth to get some product, to see whether the method is correct, to see whether we can improve further. So some, in fact, they get fed up, they get tired in preschool education. But my personal view is, as far as you are in this field, there's no way for us to escape. Want it or not, you need to stay on the show. You need to stay in progress. Visit some kindergarten elsewhere. Like we also have some activities. So we also have some conference. And it's just that, in fact, we try to keep this teaching material up to date. And we really hope some kindergarten, if what we are doing, in fact, are in line with their kindergarten objective, so most probably you can have a way to look into our product. So in short, it is not, of course, this is a separate package. But of course, initially we will give a lot of free account for kindergarten to try. So I think this is worth, and maybe some teachers, they can start with some simple tools. Then gradually, when they are more ready, then they can go more into more. And this is how it works, Alvin.
Thank you, Dr. Koo, for sharing. And thank you, Principal and for coming. And for your information, once again, this online multimodal and teaching is a new package. If you need more information and price, please contact our WhatsApp. You can send a text message to our WhatsApp number 016425290, or send an email info@mels.hk. So if you need any help, you can always send us the WhatsApp or the email. I already shared the screen, the contact. So you can take a picture or write down the number. Okay, if no more question, maybe one more question about the charges for online subscription. Or if you asking for the price and also the information, you can send an WhatsApp message to us. So we will reply you accordingly. I think that's all about it. Thank you, Dr. Gu, your time, and thank you everyone for attending. I hope to see you again next time in our next webinar. Just keep in touch and read the email, because sometimes we just send the message to your WhatsApp or email. I hope to see you again. Thank you, everyone. See you.
Bye-bye. See you
Goodbye,
next
everyone.
time. Bye-bye.